Some tapes are left behind for a reason. Buried, forgotten, sealed so tightly they were never meant to resurface. But in 2021, deep in Oregon's forgotten timberland, something broke that seal. This is not a documentary. It's not a film. What you're about to experience is a record that should never have been recovered. A final broadcast from a place that listens back. This is the Hollow Archive. In the summer of 2021, after receiving some strange phone calls, a fire prevention crew went to check out an abandoned ranger outpost in Central Oregon. The first thing they saw was the lockbox. It was wedged beneath the floor of a collapsed ranger outpost, sealed shut, buried under decades of moss, dust, and rot. There was no label, no serial number, just 3 words carved into the metal lid like a warning: do not open. But they did. Inside was a single VHS tape, still intact. No mold, no damage, no dust. But across its plastic casing, 3 deep scratches, like something had tried to claw its way in or out. What it showed should never have been found. This is the Hollow Grove recording, or what's left of it. In October of 1998, 4 amateur filmmakers entered Hollow Grove Preserve, a dense forest zone near the Cascade foothills, long since removed from official maps due to unstable terrain and closed fire roads. The group was creating a student documentary on abandoned ranger stations and Cold War fallout shelters rumored to exist in the region. There were Jonah Sykes, Lily Matson, Anthony Rivers, and Joel Kessler. Joel kept saying he heard someone whispering, but none of them were talking. The last confirmed sighting of them came from a gas station 26 miles north of the Grove. The clerk remembered them asking for a topographical map. He said they looked nervous but excited. 12 days later, after multiple unanswered check-ins and a report from the ranger station clerk, a formal search was launched by local authorities. What started as a routine missing persons case quickly turned into something far more unsettling. Search and rescue teams swept over 14 square miles of dense forest. Drones were deployed, and dogs were brought in. But their campsite was discovered, fully intact. The tent zipped shut, gear untouched, and a campfire cold with visible coals. One thing was missing: the camera and the hikers. For 23 years, the case sat cold. No leads, no answers. Then in 2021, when a fire prevention crew found the tape, they managed to get it running using an old analog deck wired through a portable screen. Static filled the frame, but the landscape was unmistakable. Hollow Grove. The tape ran for 42 minutes, most of it static, until it wasn't. One of the team members who watched it resigned that same day. His written statement read, "Some things weren't meant to be rewound." The recovered footage shows a walk through the woods, handheld, shaky, silent at first. A series of partially buried concrete foundations appear. One is covered in moss and bent rebar. Midway through the tape, the person behind the camera begins reacting to something off-screen. He pans quickly toward what appears to be a cluster of trees, but the footage glitches as the frame centers. The camera stutters violently, as if caught in a feedback loop. A mechanical clicking is audible beneath the wind. It repeats in bursts of 4. The final 8 minutes are the most disturbing. The camera remains fixed on a dark opening in the hillside, possibly the entrance to a collapsed structure. The image remains still, but the exposure changes subtly, as if the light source is flickering. Toward the very end, the audio becomes layered. A low breathing pattern can be heard, slow, steady, and unnaturally rhythmic. It doesn't match human pacing, and it seems to be coming from within the earth. Analysis of the footage revealed no edits. The audio track was original and unaltered. Spectrograms revealed harmonic structures in the low-frequency hum, patterns that resembled glyphs when visualized. In 2022, an anonymous source leaked an internal Forest Service memo. It referenced an incident logged under the ID HG14. The document was partially redacted, but included references to non-standard terrain behavior, infra-acoustic disruptions, and containment protocols rendered ineffective. Another section referenced the Grove's use in the 1960s as a Cold War acoustic monitoring site. The document ended with a handwritten phrase, "It remembers what hears it." Further review found a matching phrase. It was carved into the base of a fire tower foundation 300 yards from where the tape was discovered. The words had been weathered, but readable, carved deep into the stone. Several theories have emerged in the wake of the tape's reappearance. Theory 1, infrasound hallucination. Some believe that the Grove emits low-frequency sound waves, possibly due to underground fault lines or old equipment. These waves can cause anxiety, vision anomalies, even dread. But critics argue this doesn't explain why the tape's camera distorts when facing the hillside. Theory 2, memory contagion. A psychological theory suggests that certain patterns, visual or auditory, can embed themselves in short-term memory loops. In this case, viewers who have watched the footage describe recurring dreams involving woods they've never been to and voices that speak in delayed echoes. Theory 3, temporal dislocation. The most extreme theory suggests Hollow Grove exists out of sync, a fold or echo in time. Several timestamps on Ranger GPS logs have shown repeated entries at identical coordinates, but years apart, with identical environmental conditions. We've heard whispers of a fourth theory, but we're not ready to say it out loud. Do you think something was missed? Drop your theory in the comments. The last frame of the tape, when stabilized and enhanced, reveals the cameraman's reflection faintly visible in the lens glass. But his eyes are not pointed at the camera. They're wide, fixed on something just behind it. Digital cleanup revealed what appeared to be a vertical slit of light in the background. It stretched momentarily, then vanished. A forensic audio specialist analyzing the final second of tape found embedded tones consistent with emergency broadcast system signatures. But the frequency doesn't match any standard used in the US, past or present. No further tapes were recovered. The original recording remains in evidence storage labeled "Do Not Duplicate." No official explanation has ever been given by the Forest Service. Hollow Grove remains unmarked on modern maps. Satellite imaging shows only dense canopy, but hikers in nearby regions have reported hearing clicks, rhythmic, repeating, and always in sets of 4. If you ever find a camera in the woods, make sure you don't press play. This case remains unsolved. The footage was never meant to be seen, but now it's part of the archive. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories that were never supposed to surface.